gonna move on to what's next. So Myles Garrett, he has some strong closing comments, bro. Strong closing comments. Let me grab my phone and grab this screenshot one time. One of the things he said was it's probably more of a disappointing season than the 0-16 year in 2017, because what we expected out of ourselves, what we had built here before. So that's how I take it. And I think that's how a lot of us take it here, and the fan base, man. I don't want to look up in the coming weeks or so and see that Myles Garrett has requested a trade. And hopefully, these are the first two moves and many moves to be made to present a plan of Myles Garrett that, hey, we trying to win next year.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The more I hear Myles talk, the more I feel like he done with it, because obviously I listened to his post game interviews and all those things, and I was listening to some sound bites from him just this week, and he talked about Myles has been really big lately talking about when you compare it, when they say, Myles, you're the first player with 14 sacks, or you got your 100th sack, and you're in the conversation with these people. The number one thing he continues to say, and he's been saying all year, this is like the first time he's been saying this, is that, yeah, but those guys won Super Bowls. Those guys were on winning teams. And like he kept saying that. And they was like, Myles, what is your thoughts on Defensive Player of the Year? And he's like, I don't. That's in the back of my mind right now. I just want to win games. Like, he just keeps talking about winning. And to me, when you look at this season and you look at how it's going to be difficult to try to figure this thing out, and you think about the fact that he's 30 now, he's 31, something like that, and it's like, I feel like he at the end of the road. Because the thing is, the part that makes me laugh, although we come to the end of the road. No, I think because when I look at this defense, the fact that last year, I think we got false confidence last year's season, because I think when you go back and you assess it, we didn't play a lot of good quarterbacks, and we had the perk of playing a lot of backup quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, especially at home. And we did well. Anytime we played a good quarterback, the defense looked like they did. And I think in that playoff game, it was like, okay, that's just one game. They haven't looked like that, so that's just one game, blah, blah, blah. It was they said it was a bad day to have a bad day. That was the quote. And the funny thing is, that's what the defense looked like this year. They went up against good quarterbacks, and that's what they look like. It looked like every day was a bad day to have a bad day this year. So I think that the defense is further away than what they anticipated that they would be. And it's up to Jim Schwartz. I said this on the postgame show, you cannot go out there and continue to run the same scheme and not switch it up. Like you can't. Offensive coordinators get paid a lot of money to figure you out. You're giving them an entire offseason to look at your defense and be like, you know what, we can attack this. We didn't see this now, but now that we got a whole year to study it, this is the weakness of that defense. And you go back out there and try that same thing out there, you don't change no schemes, you don't change no personnel, you don't change no blitz patterns, you don't change no different coverages. You literally run everything back the same. It's not going to be successful, because they're going to figure out what happened. And I think that's what happened this year. And I also question the fact that what is it about us? I still to this day want to know why we don't communicate well on defense, particularly in the secondary. Because that really does stop you from being able to run certain things. If you guys aren't going to talk and you guys are not going to be on the same page, we're going to bust a lot of coverages. What game was that? The Chargers game. We bust so many coverages in just one game from a simple fact that y'all can't give a hand signal. So all that is cool with we're gonna be aggressive. Yeah, I like y'all celebrating. You can get them to celebrate after every play where even it's a bad play, they still celebrate. But you can't get these people to hand signal before the game, before a play. Like that it makes no sense to me. And I'm getting passionate about it. I got to chill out because it's Sunday. But that don't even make sense. You can beat it in these kids' heads that, hey, I want y'all, if y'all don't celebrate, y'all getting in trouble. But you can't get these guys to communicate before a play. Like, what is that about? So, yeah, they got to fix that. They got to change some things on the defense. Obviously, there's going to be changes because, you know, guys are going to move on. Guys' contracts is over. So, ultimately, it comes down to what you do in free agency, how you going to change your scheme, and how you going to end the draft. Can you develop these guys to come in and play? It's unfortunate that Mike Hall went down. Hopefully, it's not something too serious because he was a pivotal piece for next year. Isaiah McGuire looked really good. You're getting Alex Wright back. I think Double O is still here. Hopefully, Myles don't ask for a trade, but I'm telling you right now, to me, I think he's looking. I think the Browns will be without Myles Garrett. I think they'll be without Joel Bitonio. I think Joel's going to retire, and I think Myles is going to ask for a trade. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh Lord,
that's just the vibes that they give me when I hear them talk. That's the vibes that I get.
Yeah,
man. The man said something coming real soon. And when when they talk about extension, he said we got something you're gonna learn. You're gonna know something real soon. Like that's like, all right, you about to see this trade request.
All right, couple things, man. So we got a lot of chats out here, man. We do got a super chat. We're gonna try to read some of these before we get out of here. I am not in the bathroom. I am somewhat I'm sitting in my office actually down in Channel 3 in our office. Our office is dope, actually. But we're gonna read some of these super chats. Well, the one super chat we got and try to get some of these comments in. And if you want your comments read first, you can always super chat it in and me and Tyvis get to it. Before we get to that, I just want to respond to a couple things you said. First, the whole reading between the lines, right? Myles kind of been throwing hints out there about, you know, guys that won championships. Well, Myles kind of dropped that ball at the end of the season. You know, I've been talking to LeBron a lot more lately. And that kind of is in parallel with his thought process of, yeah, I'm putting up all these stats, but I ain't really got the hardware that matters for real to go with it. And all the guys that I've looked up to had at least the opportunity to compete for that type of hardware. Man, Myles is great, and Myles has been nothing but great to this franchise, to this city. I hope I see Myles at the game tonight, to be totally honest with you.
Oh, he got stock in them, so he gonna be there.
So like, yeah, he gonna be around, man. And the city ain't got nothing but love for Myles. And you know, if we end up losing Myles Garrett and he end up requesting the trade, then it's unfortunate and it's no fault of but our own. You know, the Browns have failed to put together a team that can contend for a Super Bowl in, you know, his tenureship here. And this year did suck because me, you, Myles Garrett, everybody that's, you know, super chatting and commenting in, we all had what we thought to be realistic expectations overall for this football team. And we seen the defense take a step back. We seen the offense never be able to get it going. Bubba Vitrone, man, I don't know how long it's going to be before we read that he's lost his job. And, you know, I seen somebody comment in and say, you know, what about Jim Schwartz? And when I hear you talk, this is a OG, right? He was with the Browns. He was with the original Browns, okay? Like, that's how OG Schwartz is. And when you a dude who's been coaching the same philosophy, the same way for so long, man, the Tiger don't change their stripes. And old head is really hard to get them to do something different from what they've always done, especially if they won a Super Bowl, you know, doing so. And so if you're reluctant to change your philosophy and adapt to offensive coordinators and, you know, everybody else catching up to you, then you know what, man, you ain't without questioning being fired either. And just how you got young and innovative and creative offensive coordinators, there are young, innovative, and creative defensive coordinators as well. Guys that's willing to adapt to new information, guys that's willing to adapt to change, and guys that's willing to play to the personnel that they have. Just because you do it one way and you have success, then when you see your entire team take a step back on a specific side of the ball that you was really relying on, it says a lot. And the Browns got issues. You know, you might lose Myles. Don't nobody want to tell us anything clear cut on Jock. And I think we worried that his career could truly be in jeopardy. Yeah. And so you're talking about possibly being without Myles Garrett and Jock next year. You know, Denzel Ward is starting to preach the same type of message that Myles Garrett is preaching, as far as I'm not just trying to collect stats, man. I want an opportunity to go compete for a Super Bowl. And the Browns, man, they better do whatever it is they got to do to get their stuff together this offseason so that we don't lose the few prominent players that we have via trade requests. Joe Bitonio, on the other hand, listen, man, he done paid his dues, and you want to be able to enjoy life without your body breaking all the way down on you. So we do got one super chat. Let's get to it. Steve says, what's crazy is Callahan and AVP's teams are the two teams picking before the Browns in the draft. That goes to show you it's a team effort all the way around. And I honest to God, man, like, listen, I it's a team effort, man. I say this often, and it's become like Tyvis, it's become such a regurgitated take for me, but it's stuck in my head ever since I heard it, man. The late great Jim Brown, bro. He has always said that in football, you need all 11 parts on that side of the ball moving in the same direction in order for you to have success. And sometimes, man, we get so micro focused or hyper focused on one individual or one like particular position group that we forget, man, you need everything moving in the right direction for your team to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ultimate team sport, man. It's not like basketball. LeBron James or Steph Curry can get hot and they can carry the whole thing. In football, Tom Brady could be as hot as ever, but if the receivers ain't catching the football, it's a wrap. If that offensive line ain't blocking, it's a wrap, you know? So, yeah, it's the ultimate team game, and like I said, they got a lot they got to fix, man. They got it seems like maybe even relationships been damaged over this season, because I told you it goes back to you chose 1 over 52, man. Like that, like we've been here for all these years and you chose him over us. And like it ain't no personal beef with Deshaun, because I think they mess with Deshaun. I think he's a cool guy to hang around with. So I don't think it's that, but like you changed everything. You changed our philosophy. You changed what we stood for offensively, and it didn't work. You wasted a whole year because you changed it for him. And then on top of that, he ends up getting hurt. And we changed it for no reason. That's like, we couldn't go back because we already learned the new stuff and we just got to roll with the new stuff. So like, to me, that could mess up a relationship. Like that's like choosing somebody. That's like a mom getting a new boyfriend and choosing the boyfriend over a dude off a baby boy. You gonna choose this gangster over me? It's like that type of thing. Like, you know, so like that. They got some. It's more than just fixing the personnel. It's relationships. I also think you got to fix as well.